Today, I want to talk about resourcefulness, creativity, and a lifelong trait that quite literally kept me from becoming homeless. Now, when people think about resources, they usually think about money. Money is important, but when I was facing one of the most difficult periods of my life, money wasn't the resource that saved me. Something else did. Let me tell you the story. Many years ago, my life began falling apart all at once. My boyfriend left me for another woman. Suddenly, I couldn't afford the apartment we shared. I tried to find a roommate. No luck. At the very same time, I became disabled with a spinal nerve disorder. At first, I had to use canes to walk, then a walker, and finally a wheelchair. Not only could I no longer do the kind of work I had done before due to extreme pain and weakness, but I also needed medical care. I had no health insurance. The field I was in, adult ESL, only offered part-time work. I was dealing with physical challenges, financial challenges, relationship challenges, and housing challenges all at the same time. If you've ever had life hit you from multiple directions at once, you know how overwhelming that feels. I was staring at the very real possibility of homelessness, probably within an hour or two at that point. Then, after speaking with my coworkers about my plight, one of them found me a temporary solution. One of their friends was looking for someone to dog sit and live in their house while they went to hike the Appalachian Trail. And I guess sometimes it's Appalachian Trail. They said they'd be gone for 6 months. So I accepted the live-in job. I'd at least have a roof over my head for 6 months. Friends and former students helped me move my things into the homeowner's basement. But then the homeowners came back just 2 months later. The wife had MS and couldn't make the full hike. They demanded I leave in 2 days. Now I was in trouble again. But again, my community helped me. My belongings had to go into storage. The clock was ticking. I had one friend who had a couch I could sleep on, but not forever, of course. And I still didn't know where I was going to live. So let's pause for a moment in my story and let's think about something. When people find themselves in a crisis, they often focus on what they don't have. They might say, I don't have money. I don't have a place to live. I don't have a job. I don't have insurance. And I don't have answers. But resourceful people ask a different question. What do I have? Resources can include money, skills, education, possessions, community organizations, churches, government programs, professional contacts, family members, friends, neighbors, former coworkers, former students and classmates. And sometimes resources are hiding in places you haven't even considered. One of my favorite techniques when I'm stuck is mind mapping. Put your problem in the center of a page and circle it. Then create branches for people, skills, knowledge, organizations, possessions, experience, and possible opportunities. The goal is to force your brain to see options instead of obstacles. And you can get creative with this mind map by cross-referencing to see more possibilities. For example, do you have a skill you can use to help someone in their home in exchange for rent-free living, like I did? Do you have some kind of specialized knowledge you could offer to teach someone, maybe by an ebook, an online class, or even again in someone's home in exchange for rent-free living. There are lots of creative ways to solve your problem with this exercise. So what saved me? It wasn't money. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a winning lottery ticket. The resource that saved me was something I'd been building my entire life without even realizing it. It was kindness, not fake kindness, not strategic kindness, just being friendly, approachable, a good listener, helpful, patient, and even-tempered. Over the years, I had developed friendships with coworkers, classmates, my ESL students, my musician friends, and many other people. I wasn't building a network. I wasn't thinking about future favors. I simply enjoyed helping people, listening and giving feedback, and treating them well, with no drama. And then something incredible happened. One of the students helping me move my things into that storage unit told his wife about my situation. His wife suggested that I move into their home. They were Russian, and in exchange, she wanted me to help with English lessons, and maybe for both of them. I spoke both English and Russian, so it was a perfect fit. Suddenly, I had a place to live. I wasn't paying rent, and I wasn't homeless. The crisis was over, and I stayed with them for 8 years, helping them not only with English, but also with various paperwork and as a translator at doctor's appointments. We became close friends, and I'm still in touch with them now, 12 years later. We even go out to lunch or dinner sometimes. That trait that saved me wasn't determination, it wasn't intelligence, it wasn't creativity, it was years of investing in people. One of the greatest resources you'll ever have is other people. Relationships matter. Reputation matters. Character matters. People remember how you made them feel. The kindness you show today, it might not pay off tomorrow, might not pay off next year. But one day, when life gets difficult, those relationships can become one of the most valuable resources you possess. If you're realizing that you don't have many people you could call in a crisis, don't panic. Start today. Be the friend who listens. Be the person who helps. Be dependable. Be approachable. Be kind. Relationships are built one interaction at a time. So here are some journal questions you can ponder. Number 1, who are the people I could call if I faced a major crisis tomorrow? What kind of friend, neighbor, coworker, or family member have I been to those people? What relationships in my life need more attention? What resources am I overlooking because they don't look like money? And what problem am I facing today that could benefit from a simple mind map exercise? And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. This has been Barb at Self-Help FAQ. If this podcast has helped you in any way, please pass it on to someone who might need to hear it. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.